Hi, this is Hunter and Hagen, another episode of Doc Talk. We are going to talk about FEMA code, and it's not going to be boring, I promise you, because we got some fun stories to go along with this. So it is important for you to pick an agent that understands FEMA code, built to code, not built to code, improvements not built to code. Give us an example of kind of some of the stuff I was just rambling off.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we see very frequently up and down these rivers and on the lakes is non-compliant space. And what that means is someone has enclosed an area that is below what the current FEMA code is, or it was built in after a time when it should have been put in. So you might have a 2,000 square foot house that's being marketed, but 1,000 of those square feet might in fact be below the base flood elevation and not only uninsurable, but also unmarketable. So you buy a house and it's 2,000 square feet and you find out, the county knocks on your door and says, guess what? You're not supposed to have that 1,000 square feet down here and we need you to remove it immediately. You've just lost not quite half the value of your house.
You go to sell that house again, guess what? You're marketing it as a 1,000 square foot house. That really hits the pocketbook.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also important to understand FEMA code if you're looking at improving a property. And I've had the conversation numerous times looking at a house and it's a 1,500 square foot house and it's sitting on the ground and a buyer wants to make it a 2,500 square foot house. Well, what they've got to understand is if that house is not to today's code, you don't have the ability to add on or improve. So I have had
at least horizontal.
At least horizontally, yeah. You certainly can go above, add second stories. There's more to get into regarding that. But if you don't understand the simple fact that you can't go horizontally, which might have been their plan, yes, then you could really end up in a spot where you have a property that you can't do what you wanted to do with it.
Exactly. And then on another point, sellers lie all the time. They want to sell their houses to 2,000 square foot house, not a 1,000 square foot house. Yeah. They know they're the ones typically that improved it without a permit, and so they will market it and pick an agent that doesn't know what they're doing. So if you, as a buyer, pick the wrong buyer's agent, you're going to buy into a headache. And that's what we're here to do. We put ourselves in your shoes. And a lot of times that advice, especially when it comes to FEMA code, puts no money in our pockets because it leads to no sale, at least for that house. Another one, there was a house on McQueenie, and there's not a ton of these, but every once in a while somebody just builds a house and never got a permit. The entire house was not to code. A buyer wanted to look at it, and I said, this whole house is not to code, because I still want to look at it. And I said, there's no value to be put at that. And he goes, I go pick another agent to go look at it, because this is going to turn out to be a lawsuit. Sure enough, that one did sell, and it ended up in a lawsuit. So we're here to keep you out of those lawsuits as much as we possibly can.